Hey, what's up, Herd? It's Friday, February 28th. This is your market update for the end of February, guys. We're getting into March tomorrow. I can't believe it's already getting into the end of the first quarter, and it is showing in the markets, guys. Unfortunately, we have had the worst first quarter in the post-halving year on record so far. However, I do think we're getting close to the bottom, and I do think this is a massive bear trap to the downside. Let's go to the Bitcoin chart and start here, guys. Bitcoin did come down all the way to about $78,000 last night, but has made a major bounce to the upside, 83,000 currently. We're seeing whale money flow completely dump out of the market, though. I'd like to see this turn around before we have established a bottom, though RSI seems to have leveled out below the typical range here, which is bullish for the price of Bitcoin. Now, from the inauguration of at 109,000 for Bitcoin to the wick that we set last night is a 28% downtrend. And I do want to mention that we have seen lower downtrends in previous bull markets, guys, of up to 35%. So if we did go down 30%, that would bring us to support right at about $74,000. But if we did go 35%, that would bring us all the way down to about 70,800. I do think those are possibly in the cards, guys, though we don't know for sure. So now may be a great time to be DCAing into the market if you still have some cash on the sidelines. Ethereum wicked down to under 2,100, guys, which did bring us down below the previous wick that we set just a couple of weeks ago. This is a major buying zone for me, guys. I'm going to be buying between 2,100 and all the way down as far as we really can go here. What I don't see it getting past this purple box here around at the bottom of this would be at about 1,600. XRP bounced off of its support for the most part here at about $2, which is great to see. XRP holding up better than it did back on this flash crash just a couple of weeks ago. Whale money flow completely coming out of this, though, so I'd like to see a turnaround on that or a V-shaped recovery on that to see if we can hit a bottom here. RSI is at the absolute lowest point that we have seen all year for this. BNB holding up super well, wicked below its support point at about 580 right now and is above it currently, which is absolutely amazing. Much higher than its wick down to almost $500 just a couple of weeks ago when we had that flash crash. So that's holding up super well. Solana is actually seeing whale money flow come back into it, which made it bounce off of its wick last night. Came all the way down to about $126 and is currently at $144. Solana did come out of its RSI range to the bottom side more than most of the other tokens. And I do think this support line at 122 is the strongest that we're going to see the price get down to. I think Bitcoin, BNB, and SWI have done the best in this downtrend, guys. SWI is holding up, and again, it hasn't gone as far as the flash crash that we saw back a couple weeks ago. That was a wick all the way down to about $2.35. We wicked last night to $2.50, which was a nice bounce off point there. And we're currently sitting at $2.76. Now, one thing I do want to point out, guys, is even though Bitcoin has gone out of the bottom of its RSI range on the daily chart, let's go to the weekly chart and check that out. I do think there's a possibility that we get back to the lows that we set back here in about September on the RSA, on the weekly range here. That could set us down a little bit further and could bring us all the way back to that $73,000 support range that I do think it's possible we'll hit. And I understand there's a CME gap right around 78,000 down to about 73 that I know the CME would love to see filled. Interesting to see, though, that the BTC dominance hasn't wicked out of this range in a couple days. I do think we're staying in this channel for a good reason, as most of the money is actually going into USDT rather than into Bitcoin, as people are just sitting on the sidelines waiting for this market to bottom so they can dump their USDC and USDT stables back into altcoins and into Bitcoin. And if you think we're getting into a full-on bear market, guys, I do want to show you a couple other charts. I want to look at the total 2 chart, which has a nice support line here that we have been respecting. We did wick below it last night, but if we continue to stay above it at $1 trillion, I do think this will hold up support for this bull market for us. However, if we do get below this, guys, it could mean that we have some more bearishness to go. Another chart I want to mention is the others chart here, which is everything except for the top 10 blue chips in crypto. This has bounced off of support as well here, but I want to show you this in terms of Bitcoin. So we're going to type in BTC at the top here, and this has absolutely been respecting since the beginning of crypto basically back here. So if we continue to see this support line uphold, I do think we'll see an alt season relatively soon here, as we haven't seen this capitulate below this line. And I do think this means that we're even closer to an altcoin market than some believe. All right, Herd, that is all I've got for today, but I do want to call your attention to what we've got going on in our Telegram page. Make sure to keep up with that, guys. If you're watching these videos, make sure to get into the Telegram and stay up to date on the Herd and what's going on there. We have some great news coming out soon of what BT has been working on for the last month, and I do hope that we'll be able to explain more in the very near future, guys. With that, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell for more content just like this. Have a great weekend, and God bless.